So first, let me talk about the biggest structuring issue that I think arises in the government contracting sphere, and it's a typical topic for obviously all deals, and that is what type of transaction you do, an asset purchase, a stock purchase, or a merger. This obviously comes up in every deal. Choices usually the choice of type of structure is usually influenced by a number of factors: tax, the number of shareholders involved, the number of consents required. However, where the target has government contracts, the issue of consent and assignment becomes that much more important. This is because of the Anti-Assignment of Contracts Act, which provides that a government contract cannot be assigned and any purported assignment is void. The exception to this is if you do a novation, which literally means the substitution of a new contract in place of the old one. What this means is that in the government contracting sphere, where you are purporting to assign contracts, you actually have to novate them, which is a process that involves the government agreeing to a novation, and this will usually occur, and actually always occurs, after the transaction is closed, which creates a number of structuring issues, which I'll talk about later as to how you would handle that in the agreement. But for now, what I wanted to talk about was picking what type of structure you use up front may determine whether or not you need to do a novation. With stock purchases, the CFR, the Code of Federal Regulations, is actually clear that a novation agreement is not necessary because there is no legal change in the party contracting with the government. Thus, the issue becomes somewhat easy if you do a stock purchase. With an asset purchase, it's pretty clear that you will need to do a novation agreement because you can't actually assign, the target can't actually assign the contracts. That raises the question of whether but one of the things that needs to be considered there is whether the government will allow you to novate. It's important to the government that the acquirer have ability to perform the contract. Thus, they must be buying all of the seller's assets, or at least all of the assets that are used or required to perform the government contract. And this can become an issue that needs to be discussed with the government and get the government comfortable that that is occurring. As I said, this can be somewhat awkward in that often this discussion is actually going to take place after the deal has actually closed.